Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm Caleb,
I'm Owen.
and this is KO Productions, our third time recording now because
Episode 2
episode 2.
type shit.
Well, last time, just getting straight into it, this is going to be a more shorter video because last time we realized that we talked a lot more than we would have liked, and we kind of just came up randomly with some topics, but now I think we've decided to be a lot more swifter and easier with transitioning into one topic into the next.
Not as
And
much yapping, more
Nice.
focus.
Yeah. So for this episode today, we are going to be talking about the Ultimates, which is an arc that just finished up in comics with the new Ultimate Universe with Marvel. And then, oddly enough, football, because me and Owen are football fans and we want to talk. We're halfway into the season, and I guess we would like to just talk some football a little bit. And me and him also agreed that we don't just want to do nerd stuff, we want to do some sports too. So, we're getting into Ultimates. First off, what attracted you to this comic
Oh man,
series?
I mean, I'm a big Avengers guy. Like, I know a lot of people when it comes to like favorite teams in comics, like X-Men is a lot of the people's like first choice. But I would have to say like Avengers has always held a place close to my heart just because of that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's what made me like a really big fan of Marvel. Um, and I mean, Iron Man's leading the team. Iron Lad. Shout out Tony. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan. In the MCU, I think um, Hulk before Spider-Man got introduced in Moon Knight, of course. I'm a huge Moon Knight fan, and you should be too.
You gonna
Before
start a
Moon Knight,
cult, or
huh?
you gonna start a cult of like Moon Knight fans?
Might. Um,
Okay.
Basically, go check out Jed McKay's Moon Knight run. By the way, fantastic. Basically, before Spider-Man, Moon Knight, I was big on Iron Man and the Hulk, especially in the first Avengers movie. Both of them, I think, carried that movie a lot, and the movie still holds up. But if we were doing college for comics, I'm probably a sophomore and he's probably a freshman. Um, I'm newer. I just started reading comics probably 2, 3 years ago. He started about a year ago now. Um, and one of the very first things that I introduced him to was this new Ultimate Universe, which I told him about. Uh, New jumping on point, Ultimate Invasion with,
Shit.
yeah, with, no, it isn't,
I'm playing.
with Ultimate Universe, and then wherever you want to go from that. Of course, though, Spider-Man is more my thing, so I was able to jump on to Ultimate Spider-Man. Black Panther, X-Men, and Spider-Man are not really his thing. So, like you said, Iron
I like
Man's.
Black Panther and the X-Men.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you just weren't as attracted to that as like when I mentioned the Ultimates. I mentioned the Ultimates to him. Said, this is a team being led by Tony Stark, and it's basically Teen Tony Stark from um,
Iron Man Armored Avengers.
Iron Man Armored Avengers, which is a good show too.
Underrated.
Underrated, underrated theme song too. But so I think we all gravitated, me and him gravitated towards that, and we've been reading it together. I've also been reading Ultimate Spider-Man on my own, but we've been reading the Ultimates together, and I think this really cool premise of the Maker, who is a evil version of Reed Richards, taking away people's superpowers and or killing them, or killing, trapping people like Cap and Thor. Um, these people get these superheroes gain their superpowers way later into the game when the world's all screwed up was really interesting. We kind of got that a little bit in Ultimate Spider-Man, and Black Panther dealing with the Illuminati and all that. But I was really hyped for the Ultimates because we would be seeing, I suspected, and I think you did too, that we would be seeing a more wider, larger lens to the entire Ultimate Universe through the Ultimates book
Oh
as
yeah.
their whole team. and whole focus is getting superheroes back on track and defeating the Illuminati, which,
Well,
well, for the most part,
I mean, like what they sort of succeed at.
yeah. So today we're going to be talking about that topic, and the first arc just finished up by uh, Dennis Camp. Not sure who the artist is. I'm sorry, um, but I guess we're going to go through the issues first together and then rate what we think. So issue 1, fantastic.
Best, best that I've one of the best out of the six. I think there's other ones that are better, but
Yeah, I agree. I think the first one, introduced Cap more so a little bit. We
towards the
got,
end,
yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp were the main focus. It was really nice. It felt like we were getting the mainline Avengers back, other than Hulk, because Hulk's bad in this universe, and we'll get more to that lately.
we get one, but
But how did you feel about the first issue?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like compared to what you hear about like the old Ultimate series with those characters, like Ultimate Ant Man and shit like that. Um, this Ant Man and Wasp were a lot more charming and a lot more likable.
I agree.
And I like this take on Hank Pym kind of being like low key a pussy pacifist. I kind of fuck with that.
I mean, that's his whole character, though.
Yeah,
He's
but you don't see that.
pacifist.
We don't like to the outside eye. Like when you look at the MCU, you don't get pacifist from Paul Rudd.
That's fair. Um, I also agree. I dig the suits that they had. Um,
Doom and Iron Lad suits are just like
Peak, yeah. I also think that it was really cool to have two super geniuses on the team. Uh, like I was telling him earlier, most of the intellectual smart people um, are like the highest rated in Marvel. Usually go between three people: Doctor Doom, Reed Richards, and
Tony
Iron
Stark.
Man, Tony Stark. Yeah. So it was really cool to see Doom in this universe, who is Reed Richards, be with Tony Stark on the same team. And I really like that issue. Issue 2, not as much. Yeah, we
Did
both.
not like it.
I didn't like it either. It was okay, but to me, it was like basically Cap coming to terms with America and how the world has started to come into fruition since he's been gone.
And like storming the White House, trying to save America Chavez, who we don't see again for another 3 issues,
Yeah,
4 issues.
4 issues. So that was another thing. I also had a problem with that. At first glance, it was okay. It wasn't my it. It was, to me, just like um.
It was a good way of weaving in Captain America to the story.
Well, yeah, but as these issues go on, up until the most recent issue, which we'll get into later, or at least I will, a lot of characters are introduced and like nothing's done with them, really.
Oh yeah,
Um, issue 3, I think me and him have agreed that one of our favorites with
solid
She-Hulk,
issue.
solid intro into She-Hulk, who is fantastic in this universe, but also at the same time super, 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 super sad origin
Compelling.
story. Empowering.
No, compelling.
Oh, I was about to say empowering. I was like, hold up a second.
Well, you were agreeing with me.
Well, yeah, compelling,
Compelling.
but also empowering, because I thought that's what you're. It's empowering to have someone be able to take a stand
Yeah.
to what was happening to her and her culture and everything with her civilization,
She has
which
a
is,
right to be angry.
she has a right to be angry.
It makes sense for her to be like the She-Hulk. And like all the shit that you see like with like all our people and stuff, like getting taken over by or experimented on by Bruce Banner.
I agree. This is Wade.
This is Wade, the Waffle House Warrior.
Oh, fuck you. Thank you, Wade.
You're welcome. You kill yourself.
All right.
Who has the biggest pussy in comics? Let's talk about that. Who's got the juiciest box in comics? Yeah, keep talking.
but I'll find a way to edit that out. But anyway, I agree that issue 3 was really sad and really compelling, and honestly, just my heart goes out to She-Hulk for what she was going through, and other people who kind of go through some similar situations. Um, issue 4, it's about Doom's background, Reed Richards' background, and I think,
Not really needed.
yeah, I feel like it was kind of like a nothing burger. As an Ultimate Invasion, uh, I already got that. I mean, I'm not sure how you feel, but I already got that, like, this Doom was in a way brainwashed, or this Reed was brainwashed and he was cut off from the Fantastic Four in some way, shape, or form. I know the Maker took away people's powers and all. I think the most compelling thing about this issue 4, was that we got to see Tony and Doom kind of talk down to one another, and it started really showing the differences with each other.
Yeah.
Um, what about you?
I feel like it could have been, maybe they could have done something similar to what they did with Cap, weaving him back in, kind of like telling his origin story while also having like a main plot going on instead of it just being like an origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like it could have just been like a one off, like here's a backstory to Doom and have something else. It was kind of, I don't know, I feel like it could have been something else.
That's fair. Issue 5, I will say that I did not read it, but that is only because I got spoiled. I got spoiled on TikTok. I got it spoiled for me on TikTok. Or I did buy the issue anyway, but I basically got the gist, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Hawkeye's a Native American now, and I
I
really
fuck with
like
that.
that. Yeah, I fuck with that too. Um, gives more diversity to the team, uh, but also, I mean, you can go ahead since you read the full thing.
I really liked it. I was not expecting them. I thought it was just going to be like Clint Barton in this universe was of Native American descent. Um, but having it be like Clint Barton refused the offer and this random person just takes the gear
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just takes the mantle of Hawkeye and starts trashing like Roxxon's oil rigs and stuff. And like having Cap, because like up until that issue, Cap wasn't really doing a whole lot, even in issue 2, which was kind of like his issue. Um, Kind of having him talk to Hawkeye and kind of like trying to relate to him and basically recruit him to the Ultimates. I kind of like that. Um, and yeah,
I also like the fact that we have like a Native American destroying oil rigs and
I think
stuff.
it's a cool I think it's a cool design too. I like the design of
Oh
the
yeah,
costume and stuff.
I remember when we first saw the cover for this issue a while back. I thought it was Kate Bishop because of the long hair and
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
but I was even more surprised when it was Native American, and that was even more interesting. And I like the fact that this person goes around and destroys oil rigs, and honestly has some quippiness to him, and still like regular Hawkeye.
and is good at using the gear.
Yeah, he is, or they are.
They
Sorry.
are.
Um, issue 6, final arc.
We both read it today after we on our weekly comic book run. We went and picked it up.
Shout out to Main Street and Beyond Comics, which far away, but we have to make do.
Worth the drive.
Well,
Um,
let's get back to you because I know your thoughts are all over the place. I already know my thoughts.
I mean, I feel like at the end, in the end, we were kind of similar on our thoughts, weren't we?
Yes and no. You go ahead. What did you think about it?
I mean, I still think that it was not as fulfilling as I hoped.
Mm,
I think it was an issue that was completely dependent on shock value. Um, don't want to get into spoilers because it did just come out yesterday. But yeah, with what happened in that issue, I feel like I was hoping for more, like maybe even a couple more pages. And the fact that I gotta wait now to see what happens, it's just kind of like I don't know if I can keep after this issue. I don't know if I want to keep investing in
Buying it every single issue.
buying every single issue every month.
That's fair. I feel similar to Ultimate Spider-Man, and we've talked about this last episode. I actually got a lot of fulfillment out of it. I will continue to buy the issues, but that is very dependent on how I feel, because now I realize, it seems like we all have all these characters now, and I won't spoil anything either, but over the last couple of issues, it feels like we've just been getting introduced to characters and then leaving them in the fray. Like Owen mentioned earlier, 3 or 4 issues since we saw America Chavez. I can't remember if they appeared in any more stuff, but Ant-Man and Wasp, I think like 5 issues before we saw them again.
Well, no, they were in two.
Yeah, they were, I guess so. So the same thing, but it was just like, uh, I
It's
just
just like,
didn't.
what's the point? We did a count of how many people were on the team in the comic. It
mm,
was 11.
11 now. 11.
11, and jack shit done with any of them.
Yeah. But I actually got some fulfillment. I really liked what they did with Hulk. Hulk's on the cover, so he is in this, but I'm not going to say what they do, although really cool in my opinion.
Oh yeah, all that stuff was cool.
The ending, not sure how it's going to go. I guess we'll see. But
Definitely
I,
go read it though. Big, like, definitely a cliffhanger ending.
I think that it worked with the action. I think, we've been kind of wanting to see some action for a while now, a little bit, and it delivered to us that. And I think Dennis Camp was a good writer with this. I did like all the shock value. Um, I guess I'm just kind of nervous for how this is going to all play out, since this book kind of got introduced a lot later. Um, but I guess I can't really go into spoilers, but it's so hard for me to. Um, but I guess I'll just do this. So I'm about to go in spoiler territory. Um,
So we're just gonna do it.
for the next, I'd say 5 minutes. So if you're watching this, skip 5 minutes ahead. I'm gonna try and make it short, and I'll also try. I'm still learning how to kind of title card these videos like some people can, where you have one section is this, one section is talking about this. So I'll try and do that, but skip 4 to 5 minutes ahead. Um, so, like I told you, Ultimate Wolverine is coming soon, and from what I know, he's basically going to be like the Winter Soldier, and the Illuminati is introducing him in to kill off these superheroes. I haven't
The
read issue 1,
synopsis.
the synopsis, yeah. Knowing that Hulk can basically take out the entire Ultimates team by himself. Doom wasn't there, although I don't think he would have done much anyway. Knowing Hulk can do that, it kind of makes me wonder, like, so what's the point of I mean, there's a lot of issues going to be leading up until Ultimate Wolverine, but it kind of makes me think, so what's the thing for Ultimate Wolverine anyway? If Hulk can beat these guys so easily.
Well, we
Captain
talked about
Britain,
that earlier. I mean, it's gonna probably be like they're gonna show up, like come back, kill the Hulk somehow, and then the Council or the Illuminati are gonna send the Winter Soldier, Wolverine,
yeah.
whatever, to go kill the Ultimates.
Either way, that's my only problem with it. Like I said, I was gonna keep that thing short, but
They killed off Iron Lad.
they did, which I think is probably why you'll be only reading in trades. For
No, I
me,
mean I'm not. it's like we talked about. It's a lot of characters who get no character development.
That's fair. Um, I will keep on reading. I think I'll give this arc another chance, just like I did with Ultimate Spider-Man, which I have now talked to him about. I think I'm going to be buying in trades. Um, like
You think or you are?
the last two issues are really, really, really dependent on if I buy this in trades or not, because like I said last episode, and I won't really go into detail too much, but I feel like it's Ultimate Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. I do not feel like it's just an Ultimate Spider-Man book. I've been really kind of wanting to get Ultimate Spider-Man alone so we can get more of his family in there, um, and more of Spider-Man himself, Pete being alone. I told Owen this, that I really wish we got like one first arc of Peter being alone with the Green Goblin, Omnius present in the background, and then they finally meet and then build up the relationship. But I'm not the writer, I'm not Hickman, so I know he likes to cook with his stories, so we'll see. But the last two issues are really dependent on how I feel. I'm going to keep on reading Ultimates, but if it's going to be the same thing where we keep on introducing new characters and then kind of doing nothing with them until the arc ends, I'm not sure how I feel about that either, because it's like I really want to. I feel like we have a pretty large team already at this point.
Filled with characters that like I'd like to
Yeah,
learn about.
um, we have a pretty large team at this point, and I would like to see more of how they interact with each other. And I feel like the most we've gotten is from Iron Lad, Doom, and then um, She-Hulk a little bit, which I do like She-Hulk. But
And we're gonna get even more characters, because like they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if they're gonna be part of the Ultimates, but that's a thing. Odds are Wolverine's probably gonna join the Ultimates. They're probably gonna sway him over. So if we keep adding in more characters and not building up on the ones we already have, then it's just gonna be another MCU scenario.
that's fair. Um, so that's our thoughts on the Ultimates arc. I'm going to keep on reading in issues, but if it keeps on being the way it is, then I probably will start reading it in trades as well. What are you doing, bro?
No, nothing. I'm just over here chilling,
All right. And then he's going to go for trades. He also just mentioned, too, that Justice League Unlimited will be coming out next week, I do believe.
Yep.
He's more hyped about it than I am.
Mark Wade and Dan Mora, dude.
Dan Mora and Mark Wade are solid, but you know,
And I've been looking for like a good place to jump onto like Justice League comics, and I like both Dan Mora and Mark Wade, so I'm definitely gonna buy that.
so there's that. All right, now
Football, baby.
football. We transition into a completely new territory. So I guess we'll get this started off because hopefully we don't get trashed for this, but um, me and Owen are
Philly fans.
Philly fans. We are Eagles fans. Um, I have always. Do you want to start with your background? Or you want to start with mine?
Um,
You got. You can go ahead.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, I've watched football as a kid, but not like I haven't religiously like watched it. But my dad's always been a big fan of the Eagles, and I kind of went for the Eagles too. I like the color scheme. Eagles are cool birds. When people say how they choose their favorite teams, a lot of times it's because of the mascots or like the colors of the uniforms or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the players. But players change every season, so but I consider myself a Philly fan all my life. And just recently I'm now, at least in the past couple of years, have been trying to actively keep up with what's going on with Philadelphia.
I My dad was mainly a Steelers fan. He was the main person who watched football throughout our house. Um, and I kind of went with him for the most part because I was young. However, around seventh or eighth grade, and I've always been off and on with football. Um, Around
Did you?
seventh grade,
Sorry, this is off topic. Kind of. Did you play football? Or did you just
I
play
did play
soccer?
football.
Well, I mean, like in like high school.
No, I
Okay,
played in a rec league.
that's right.
But um, sorry, I'm fixing my shirt real quick. Um, yeah, uh, I in seventh grade, I liked eagles. They're one of my like top three animals ever, and I just kind of picked based off you know eagles, birds. So also, um,
They're also the only symbol that faces to the left, I believe, or the right. The eagle formation, or like the eagle symbol.
pretty sure they're left.
Yeah, they're the only ones that face
But
towards the left. Unique.
that after around seventh, eighth grade, that's when I really started paying attention to football. I kind of dropped out a little bit because my dad also stopped watching it. But recently, lately, Trevor, who is a good friend of mine, got me more into football, and I joined a fantasy league, and that was last year, and I started actually paying attention more. And now I've just decided, as I was picking up football again, I've decided the Eagles are going to be my main team. I still like the Steelers, kind of a background thing, but I don't really pay attention to them as much anymore. Just mainly the Eagles. And well, we'll talk about football. So we're both Eagles fans. I guess I wanted to do kind of like Super Bowl predictions. Who can maybe go to the Super Bowl now that we're going halfway into this? I honestly think it's going to be, candidates for the Super Bowl are top three: Ravens, Detroit Lions, and
Excuse me.
Ravens, Detroit Lions, and Commanders. And shout out to Jaden Daniels, who threw that awesome Hail Mary, even though it was like a week or two ago,
That was insane.
with broken ribs, hurt ribs. That crazy. A huge respect to that, because playing out there, I played football a little bit for like a year, but I've also played sports growing through my whole life: soccer, some baseball, other stuff there. Um,
There's been a couple of crazy ass moments this season,
there has
and a lot of memeable moments.
Smitty's one-handed catch, which is
That
pretty cool.
that game alone,
Was pretty fire.
there was a couple of. I mean, there's one that was insane,
Yeah,
but
Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle. That was like some controller joint shit that I've never
that's some
seen.
ninja like reflexes. That's some
Real.
Spider
That's
Man
like the
shit.
Matrix bullshit right there. That was absolutely insane.
Fakes the
And
guy out, jumps like you can't.
backwards hurdle, I don't think anyone's ever done that before, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean,
Um,
I wouldn't know, but I doubt that anybody's ever done that before.
it really honestly sucks though, because I also have been trying to watch like old highlights and stuff. And it seems like the Giants never used Saquon Barkley's talent as much up until now that the Eagles have him, and now we're really showcasing exactly. And by the way, I'm a big fan of Swift, who was our running back last year, and I was really upset when they let him go, because I thought that um, he was a great running back, and I have a jersey for him. Now he's over at the Bears, and he's performing pretty good over there.
We
But
also lost Jason Kelsey too last year,
yeah, we
but
also
not for
lost
a
Jason
trade.
Kelsey.
But
But shout out to Jason Kelsey. I also kind of miss him too. But I'm actually really impressed with how Saquon Barkley is. Um,
I'm over the moon.
yeah,
That guy's single handedly carrying us.
yeah.
I mean, there's a few other people like Smitty's also really good. Like you said, the one handed catch was pretty good.
I think
Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's a whole other thing. I'm a big
He is
Jalen
picking
Hurts.
up ground right now. I think. Well, how about we stop on the Eagles real quick and just move to overall football
Fair.
for a minute? Because I know some people, if people ever watch this, which
They have to be Philly fans. They have to be. That's how it has to go. That's how it has to go.
Texans fans are also welcome.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm also a big fan of CJ
CJ
Stroud
Stroud.
because he was my first fantasy football quarterback, and he basically carried me to the playoffs and almost I lost.
How did he do last week?
That's his O line. That's the O line. But so I have a compassion for him, kind of, and also I just think that he had a great rookie year last year anyway. But overall, I think the Lions, Commanders, and what am I always for the Ravens are top three to go to the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs have been sleepwalking this year, and I think a lot of people have been starting to notice that their defense is really carrying them. Patrick Mahomes in fantasy and even on the league isn't putting up a lot of points. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 weeks ago, if I saw it correctly, he had almost the same stats that Daniel Jones had, where he had like almost already 8, 9, 10 interceptions. So it was just it's kind of wild to see Travis Kelce hasn't really been getting much play, but I'm sure they're just saving him to use him later in the playoffs. But I really think that this year, if the Chiefs keep on playing the way they have been, then I really think that if they keep on trying to sleepwalk through games, then I don't think they're really going to make it to the Super Bowl this year because you have to be a high caliber team. Um, I also think there's some contenders for other uh, possible Super Bowl candidates.
I think we have a chance.
I do think the Eagles are an underrated team right now, and honestly, I think that's because of what we blew like a 10 win streak lead last year with 10 undefeated games or so.
Our
With
fall off needed to be studied last year.
7 games or 6 games in a row where we just lost over and over and over and over and over. I think a lot of people went into this year expecting the Eagles not to really do much. However,
boy, were we wrong.
I was also kind of a little worried. I still kind of am cautious, but Jalen Hurts, I think it's safe to say 3 games in now, no interceptions,
No turnovers.
no turnovers. Might be getting back in 2022, Jalen Hurts. I think
Prime
that
Jalen.
this year, I think that the Eagles might have a chance. So far, and I've told him this, I think they are not really Super Bowl caliber yet. They still have a lot to show because while they did go up against the Browns, they only won by 4 points.
It was bad.
I think that the play calling could be a little bit better with field goals.
Nick Sirianni just needs to get his shit together.
Yeah, I agree. I think I know what you're about to say, but
yeah,
I also think that we have got to stop going for it. 2 point. You should only be doing 2 point conversions, go for 2 point leads when you're at least, I would say, at least 2 or 3 or a majority of points. If it's like 30 and 7 and you're going leading by 30, sure. But when you're only up by like a touchdown, stop going for 2 point stuff. Just go for the field goal. And it's been like the last couple games that we have Jake Elliott, who I think is one of top 5 kickers in the NFL, who hasn't been getting used correctly, and it's like blowing the lead by 4 or 5 points because we're not kicking as many field goals.
The tush pushes have been working.
No, also that's another thing. It's like Jason Kelce. I don't think a lot of people realize that after Jason Kelce left, he also helped with the tush push. And if tush push does not work once, maybe try it way later down the line in the game. But stop doing that every single time on 4th and 2, 4th and 1. It's not going to always work. It just,
Most of the time, it's been working though.
but still,
It's still
it's
not something you should go for whenever you're like in the best terms possible, running out of plays.
yeah. Um, so I told Owen that I think that they're championship caliber team, but Super Bowl not yet ready. I think the Ravens, very Super Bowl like. Detroit Lions, very Super Bowl like. Um, Detroit Lions have all star wide receivers on their team.
They're 7-1 right now too.
Yep. Um, Commanders, they have a lot of fight in them. I think they've been just waiting for a quarterback like Jaden Daniels to pop up. Um,
They've been doing really good.
what's really kind of sad too about the Texans is they are they have a really good quarterback in CJ Stroud, but I think injuries and their O line just pushing them back. Nico Collins, pretty sure was the best wide receiver at a point in this year. Stephon Diggs, and it's just like without them, CJ Stroud kind of has like no one to look for. I mean, there's Tank Dell and a couple other players in
They're
there,
not
but
doing terrible though. What's their standing?
I do believe they're leading, but it's like probably like the worst team to be leading right now, kind of like the Chiefs,
Oh,
where they're just kind of, I mean, they're trying their hardest, but you can only do so much with the players you have, and I'm sure they're all trying their hardest, but like the O line and time management needs to be worked out. Um, I think the toughest division right now is with the Bears. The Bears division, the Bears. Um,
it's the
know.
Bears, man.
I mean, they're trying,
They're trying,
but it's like when you're competing with
dude.
other high caliber teams.
Well, no, like Caleb Williams, who, of course, every time that I mean, like you see all those memes about like players that you got on the bench and they perform like they're god,
Yeah,
and then when you take them off the bench, they're shit. Um, Caleb Williams, like for the first couple of weeks, was putting up more points than Jalen Hurts, who is my starting quarterback on my fantasy team. And I was like, okay, damn, maybe I'll switch him out. And then of course that week, I keep forgetting. This is my first year. You got me into
I did get them into fantasy
fantasy league.
football.
It's shit.
Betting,
I hate
betting.
it. Um,
Lose all your money.
lose all my money,
Bet it on black.
but
I don't condone that.
I condone
All
it.
right, you go ahead.
No, but yeah, you got me into
I'm gonna
gambling.
bet you on black.
You'll bet me on black.
I'll lose a friend. All right, go ahead.
You got me into gambling. Um, uh, and I always forget to at the beginning of the week. I forget to try and swap out players that were on bye week.
I keep on telling him to do that, by the way, and he just says, "But the players won't put up that many points." But it's like you
It's
still get
better
a.
than zero.
It's
It's
better
better
than
than
zero, and
zero.
he just keeps on forgetting.
I keep forgetting.
He said, and this
We're at the
first,
point in the league, man, where we're like, me, you, and Trevor are all tied for fifth. Like it's
yes,
like I barely check the damn scores.
I'm trying, but there's only so much. I have, I think, three quarterbacks.
Yeah, you got like a lot of injuries too.
I did. There was one point I do believe this season. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, where I had five injured players on my team, and I was struggling.
It's
I did good for the
insane.
first three games, and then it's been a downfall. Almost like the New Orleans Saints. So we can also talk about them.
Oh man,
I've said Derek Carr is decent, but he starts off good and then it just goes to shit.
isn't it crazy though that like they were seen as such a powerhouse team, and then we played them. We didn't beat them by a lot, but we beat them, and now they're 2-7.
Yep, it's kind of wild.
That's
And
insane.
they just got beat by the Panthers, who is led by Bryce Young, who I think we can all agree right now, at least for right now, um, probably one of the least good quarterbacks in the NFL, next to like people like Daniel Jones and stuff. And that's not trying to say like haters of them and stuff, but like just due to stats and like interceptions and stuff, they're not playing to their caliber that they were drafted at.
Low
And
key might be a hot take too, as far as like shit quarterbacks this season. Dak Prescott.
Cowboys are not doing well either. They're just and they just got injured. Where Eagles are going up against them. CD Lamb is injured, so
Wait, is you said Dak Prescott is too, isn't he? Or
yeah,
is he?
Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. They're I'm
Easy
pretty sure
win
it's probably gonna. I mean, you never know with the Eagles. They love to have great leads and then just
and shit
blow it.
on your expectations.
Yes, but so we'll see how that goes there. But yeah, I think there's honestly a lot more bad teams in the NFL right now than there are good. Where it's
Jaguars are bad.
Jaguars, I feel bad
Shout
for
out
them.
Kristen.
I feel bad for them. They're just struggling with Trevor Lawrence. The Rams might be coming back with it. However, Puka got ejected out of the game.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think over a face punch, he punched somebody. So, but yeah, I
Dolphins
think
are kind of shit, but to be
yeah.
expected.
And I also wonder if Tua is going to play because have you seen that he now has had like 5 concussions, and he said like
He there was a couple weeks like it was a few weeks ago, probably like a month ago now, that he was like arrested on the way to the game.
that was Tyreek Hill.
Yep, my bad.
Just
Type
goes to
shit.
show how much this guy knows.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Shit on me. Go
I
ahead.
will get off the site, get off this channel.
This is my house.
All right, but anyway, betting your house on black.
Nope, not me.
All right. Um, yeah, I definitely think that they're not playing to the caliber that they have been playing, but it just seems like
But to put the Ravens up there, I feel like we have a chance to.
I don't see it, not yet.
I mean, not yet, but like, I mean, if you can put the Raven, like we have almost the same good qualities that the Ravens have. That
But that's the thing. I I've been saying to Owen that and a couple of friends of mine who are also in my fantasy league, and we have a fantasy group chat. We have all the talent in the world for the Philadelphia Eagles, but it feels like the play calling with blowing field goals and trying to do pushes when they aren't working. It's just like you can't do last year if you paid attention to the Philadelphia Eagles at all and stuff. It was almost like we were going to the Super Bowl, and then after we lost to the 49ers that year, it was like teams were very able to read us with like we kept on doing the same play calling over and over, and then we stopped doing the running game. I think they're definitely trying to start again with Saquon Barkley, obviously, who I think Jalen Hurts and Saquon are kind of carrying the team
but
away.
that could also, I mean, that could also be read too, because we have a tendency, at least right now, to
Blow leads.
well, no, give the ball to Saquon because he does wonders.
He does wonders, but at the same time, that I think we're a dual threat with the running game because Jalen Hurts can also run on his feet a lot.
Oh yeah, but that was one of the criticisms that people gave Jalen a lot in the beginning, was like that he was
Holding the ball too
holding the
long.
ball and trying to run it a lot.
I think he's definitely, and they're actually switching out and looking at their other wide receivers other than Smitty and AJ Brown, because if you notice, like Saquon, AJ, and Smitty are the ones that get the ball the most
We also had that game where both AJ and Smitty were
out, and
out.
Goddard showed up, and
Goddard showed up.
Watkins, I think. Um, either way, um,
That was against the Saints, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but I just I do not see us as a championship. I see us as a championship, maybe, but like Super Bowl, I
We'll
don't.
see.
We will see. I want to have faith, but after last year, and still there's some flaws. It's just like we have all the talent. We definitely could be a Super Bowl team, but I mean,
We've gotten better since our bye week. You can definitely see
oh yeah.
some changes
If
from.
Jalen Hurt, we will definitely. I definitely think we will make it through a wild card round and definitely go to the playoffs. With the way we're playing, but with like the Commanders out there, with they have a great kicker. They have Jaden Daniels, quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
If they hit some kind of bullshit play that they did against, like on when we played them, if they have a bullshit play like that, like a Hail Mary throw, I'll kill myself.
Our defense has been a lot better than last year.
Way better than last year.
But overall, I mean, yeah, it's kind of. I also
shout out Nathan Perrell too. That's my little brother. He actually straight up helped me make my fantasy team. So how I'm actually in the position that I am right now. So just a
yeah.
random thought, but yeah, type shit.
Let's go beat him up because obviously he didn't pick well for you.
He did all right. I'm not in last place.
That's fair. Well, yeah.
Not
I
yet.
all right. I also just overall think that for the Super Bowl predictions, it is Lions, Commanders, Ravens,
Say it one more time.
Chiefs, maybe, but it's like they've been sleepwalking. I think the Eagles have a chance, until Nick and the play calling gets better, then I don't see it just yet.
I think overall right now for me, without bias, because obviously I want the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. I think like the two teams that I think could go to the Super Bowl are the Detroit Lions and the Commanders.
Not the Ravens.
No,
Why not?
I feel like they're in the same boat that we are, where they're a sleeper, but they're not as strong as the Commanders and the Detroit Lions.
I think they are though. Their offense is stellar.
I think their offense is stellar, but I still think I like.
They
I mean,
blew out the
okay, so if you're
Broncos.
saying it's the Broncos.
Well, yeah, but like the Broncos last year and a little this year have been able to beat some really good teams.
We did too last year.
Uh, I will say that maybe I can see that because they did lose to the Browns, and we almost lost to the Browns or almost tied, I guess, whatever.
That would have been
If
devastating if we lost to the Browns.
but yeah, I so I
I
definitely
mean, if you
think
could pick, I just want to ask you because you have three or four. You say three or four for Super Bowl.
three.
Just two of those teams. Like if you could just pick the Super Bowl contenders, who would you pick?
Commanders, Lions, but honestly, if I'm gonna have to make a conscious decision on this, Chiefs, Lions. Chiefs are undefeated. We have to give them that, but at the same time, it's like somehow, some way, they are always able to make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, but it's also like you said, like they've been sleepwalking, and they're going to continue sleepwalking because of like their schedule for the next couple of weeks is
I've
just
said it.
not great teams.
I've said it too. I think right now they are in the same position where we were kind of sleepwalking. We were putting up good points last year, but then once it actually came time to play like good teams, we just blew it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you never know. We can see how it goes. Because Travis Kelce, it seems like he's getting older. They're probably waiting to use him more in the playoffs. Rashee Rice, good wide receiver. Xavier Worthy, I don't think he's been used to his potential yet. I
Lamar
mean,
Jackson's also a good quarterback too, I guess, for the Ravens.
he's very good.
He's pretty good.
I'd say he's like top 2.
I'd agree with that.
But
Who's number
so,
one?
huh?
Who's number one?
Um. Oh. I mean, it just floats around with Jared and Goff. Lions. Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, honestly, Jalen Hurts, with how he's been playing the last couple of times.
He's definitely been bumped up a couple spaces.
Yeah. Josh Allen's also really up there for the Bills.
Bro's lucky as hell too.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, what's your Super Bowl predictions? You said Lions, Commanders?
Lions, Commanders. And I mean, if I want to be biased, I want the Eagles to go and I want to play the Commanders.
Yeah. It's also Lions, Commanders for me that I think have the most chances of going to the Super Bowl.
They're both really strong teams. They're both, I think they're both 7 and no. I know Lions are 7-1. I don't know Commanders.
Do you believe Commanders are 6 or 6-2? 6-2?
So they're the same as us.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think
Eagles
they're
are 6-2. Are you saying you don't know if the Commanders are 6-2?
I don't know if the Commanders are six. I think
Uh,
they're 6-2. I thought we were 5-2. I have to look back at it, but so yeah, Ultimates.
a little bit of football,
A little bit of football. We'll keep on continuing to talk about football later in the year, I'm sure. But
especially as we reach playoffs.
playoffs, Super Bowl, championship. So that being said, this is KO Productions. I'm Caleb,
And I'm Owen.
and please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And we respond to comments, and we're gonna try and keep on editing and getting our channel to grow. We also really want to go more into, I'd say at least do an episode a week. But
We should also we should invest in like tagging our socials.
yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
All right, and that's KO Productions. Thank you for having us.
Bye.